Now, it goes without saying that an enormous amount of work goes into marketing any video game because there's a sure strategy to figuring out how to present a game and also when to release it. And so many amazing games have been failed by terrible marketing, and similarly, many awful games have sold by the bucket load because they were superbly sold to gamers. And then there are those times where the publishers decide to buck the conventional ways of introducing a game and sack off the year-long hype cycles and just release it without any warning whatsoever. So let's talk about these shadow drops that were the absolute tops. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 incredible video games that came out of nowhere. Number 10, PT. Though it remains in many ways a monument to unfulfilled potential, PT is also one of the most iconic and important video game experiences of the last decade. At Gamescom 2014, a new horror game called PT was announced to be in development, and better yet, a demo was immediately made available to download. But those who played through the demo and eventually made it through to the end discovered that it was actually a playable teaser for a new Silent Hill game, Silent Hills, which was directed by Hideo Kojima in collaboration with filmmaker Guillermo del Toro and starring actor Norman Reedus. PT was widely lauded by critics and players alike for its unnerving atmosphere and photorealistic visuals. And when Silent Hills was cancelled the next year, PT took on a life all of its own as a fascinating piece of gaming history. This was only exacerbated by Konami's boneheaded decision to later remove PT from the PlayStation Store, meaning that those who still had it installed on their PS4 consoles now had a highly valuable piece of digital gaming in their possession. With Konami still refusing to restore PT to PSN to this very day, fans are either forced to seek out illicit methods to play this game or play one of the many remake projects that have been developed over the years. Number 9, Hades. Supergiant's brilliant roguelike Hades wasn't given a full fat release until September 2020, but almost 2 years before that, it was shadow dropped in early access form after being unexpectedly revealed at the Game Awards. Not even 18 months after Supergiant released their game Pyre, they had Hades in a playable enough state for an early access launch, and despite that speedy turnaround, reviews were extremely positive right out of the gate. Many praised Hades for its addictive central gameplay loop, gorgeous graphics, and overall technical polish, especially given the tendency for early access titles to feel rather rough around the edges. Before its full launch, the game had already sold 700,000 copies, and within 3 days of its full release, sold an additional 300,000 units. Furthermore, Hades went on to receive near universal critical acclaim, won several gongs at the Game Awards 2020, and was deemed Game of the Year by numerous publications. Somewhat fittingly, Hades 2 was given a surprise announcement at last year's Game Awards, though, unlike its predecessor, it wasn't shadow dropped out of anywhere. Number 8, Unravel II. Unravel is one of the most charming platformers of the last decade, an adorable indie puzzler best remembered for its iconic fabric-based protagonist Yanni. Following its solid reviews, EA announced that they had renewed their contract with developer Coldwood Interactive, prompting many to assume that they were hard at work on Unravel 2, albeit without any confirmation whatsoever. So, lo and behold, during their presentation at E3 2018, EA not only announced the existence of Unravel 2, but confirmed that it was available immediately after the presentation. And like all great sequels, Unravel 2 raised the stakes and scales by introducing co-op functionality, allowing a second player to take control of a second blue Yanni. The follow-up was considered at least as good, if not better, than its predecessor by most critics, ensuring the shadow drop release wasn't merely a case of EA quickly dumping a project that fell short of their expectations. But that only leads us to one question, and that is, Unravel 3 when? Number 7, Apex Legends. Now, generally speaking, a game as huge as Apex Legends will be marketed for many months before being unleashed upon the masses, but EA's free-to-play Battle Royale hero shooter was dropped the very same day that it was officially unveiled to the public. Sure, there have been rumours about a new game from Titanfall developers Respawn Entertainment in the weeks prior, but considering that it ended up being the furthest thing from the expected, that is, not Titanfall 3, the element of surprise was definitely substantial. Its February 2019 launch is all the more impressive given that Apex Legends didn't start development until mid-2017, and, more to the point, its finessed gameplay and innovative mechanics, such as the brilliant ping system, allowed it to compete with other Battle Royale monoliths such as Fortnite and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds straight away. By the end of its reveal stream, Apex Legends was already the top game on Twitch, and 4 years on from its release has served an astonishing 130 million players, whilst also generating more than $2 billion in revenue for EA. Number 6. Tetris 99. Who ever saw Tetris 99 coming, or quite what a phenomenon that it would actually become? During a Nintendo Direct livestream in February 2019, Nintendo revealed Tetris 99, an innovative battle royale-esque version of Tetris in which players are pitted against 98 other players in their quest for tile-matching supremacy. Better yet, Nintendo made the game available shortly after the livestream ended, and to sweeten the deal even more, it was available for free for Nintendo Switch Online members. Tetris 99 quickly became a word-of-mouth hit due to its inspired fusion of traditional Tetris gameplay and the frantic urgency of any battle royale title. The competitive aspect of trying to outlast other players whilst also sending attacks to undermine their efforts reinvented the legendary game in a clever and highly entertaining way. And Tetris 99's success led the developers to create other similarly themed games, such as Super Mario Bros. 35 and Pac-Man 99, yet 4 years on, it's Tetris 99 that has endured as one of the Switch's most popular multiplayer offerings. Number 5. Dirt Rally. One genre that typically avoids releasing out of nowhere is the racing game, because it's simply tough to get general gamers massively excited about them. I mean, racers appeal to their niche of racing fans, and that's cool for them. But Codemasters tried something totally different with 2015's Dirt Rally, which was announced in April 2015 and confirmed to be immediately available through Steam Early Access. This marked an attempt by the developer to gauge feedback from players on an unfinished build of the game. Yet even Early Access reviews were loudly positive for the most part, lauding Codemasters for giving players a challenging racing simulation while noting how it could become even better on a full release. And indeed, when Dirt Rally left Early Access 8 months later, it was a much more polished and content-packed affair, and even got better when it hit consoles the very next year, where PlayStation VR support was also introduced. These tricky, unforgiving racing games won't be for everyone, but for fans of the subgenre, the Dirt Rally franchise basically has the market cornered. Number 4. Persona 4 Golden for PC. Now, while this list generally excludes re-releases and ports for obvious reasons, there is one exception, if only because of how unexpected and how long requested it actually was. And of course, we're talking about Persona 4 Golden's surprise launch on PC in June 2020. Persona 4 originally released for PS2 in 2008, with the enhanced Golden version landing on PS Vita in 2012. Both Persona fans and PC gamers eager to get into the franchise have been begging notoriously difficult publisher Atlus for years to bring this series to PC. And in the summer of 2020, when most of us were stuck at home twiddling our thumbs, along came quite the gift indeed. The PC version not only added extra graphical options, but also included the original Japanese voice acting in a Western release for the first time. The rapturous response to the port and presumably stellar reviews unsurprisingly prompted Atlus to start bringing the series' other titles to PC, beginning with the recently released 3rd and 5th games. I tell you, you'll love to see it, because these games are awesome. Number 3. Shady Part of Me. Now, it's certainly not as well known as other games on this list, but that does nothing to undermine the shadow-dropped brilliance of the indie puzzle platformer Shady Part of Me. The debut game from French outfit 12 Dixièmes, and I totally have butchered that, was announced with a trailer at the 2020 Game Awards, which ended by revealing that it was immediately available on digital storefronts. While it didn't set the world on fire in terms of sales, Shady Part of Me was enthusiastically received by the press and players alike for its creative use of light and shadow during puzzle solving, moody musical score, and gorgeous overall aesthetic. It's a game that's perhaps slipped through the cracks a little upon release, because December launches are always a tricky nut to crack, but in the 2 years since, it's received consistent acclaim from those who've actually given it a chance. Don't sleep on this any longer if you haven't already played it. Number 2. HiFi Rush. The most recent example of a shadow drop is also one of the most successful to date. During the Xbox and Bethesda Developer Direct at the end of January, Bethesda dropped a reveal trailer for a new rhythm action game called HiFi Rush, before then announcing that it was going to release later that day. The game went on to receive rave reviews from most outlets, lauding its gorgeous art style, fluid animation, addictive combat, and breezy tone. And despite releasing on Xbox Game Pass, HiFi Rush still managed to climb the Steam charts, even impressively beating out AAA newcomer Forspoken, which, amid mixed reviews, failed to crack the top 10. The overall rapturous response to HiFi Rush has opened a debate amongst players about the merits of a zero-hype shadow drop release. In the case of this game, it was most certainly the perfect storm of releasing a high-quality game at a reasonable price when there was a clear gap in the market for such an experience. But don't be shocked if we see Bethesda and other publishers experimenting more with this release model in the future, even if most will surely struggle to replicate the meteoric success of HiFi Rush. And number 1, Drainus. Side-scrolling shooter Drainus was quietly announced at the Indie Live Expo last May, with the reveal trailer also confirming that it was immediately available on Steam. Developed by Team Ladybug, the team behind acclaimed action games Touhou Lunar Nights and Record of Lodos War, Deedless and Wonder Labyrinth, seriously, where do they come up with these names? Drainus was well received by the few critics who bothered to actually play it, but blew up once shmup fans caught wind of it. Currently rocking an overwhelmingly positive user review on Steam, Drainus is a game that both pays homage to genre classics like Gradius and R-Type, but also offers enough of its own spin on the genre to not feel like a hacky, empty nostalgia bait. Visually stunning and utterly chaotic, Drainus is an absolute must-play for bullet hell fans, even if its short length will certainly leave you wanting more. With 3 banger titles now under their belt, Team Ladybug has made quite the name for themselves. And there we go, my friends, those were 10 incredible video games that came out of nowhere. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules, so you can go follow me over on Instagram, where it's @RetroJ, but the O is a 0, and you can come check out all of my Warhammer models that I've been painting. Yes, I am a nerd. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. Even though this definitely won't come out of nowhere, seeing as I end all of my videos like this, I just hope that you're doing well, my friend. I hope you're living a healthy and happy life. The message may be the same, but the mentality never changes. I just want the best for you, all right? Treat yourself with love. Treat yourself with respect, because you are deserving of that and much, much more. Now go out there and smash it, you absolute ledge. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.